Northwest Derby Day at the City of Manchester Stadium, and Kevin Keegan's Manchester City were beginning to look a force once again. Sam Allardyce's Bolton, meanwhile, had started to establish themselves in the Premier League after being promoted in 2001. Keegan's side was a mixture of international signings, promising youngsters, and English players who'd starred at other clubs. Ex-England keeper David Seaman had just hit 40, but was still keeping goal for them. Allardyce had scoured the globe for his starting 11. JJ Okocha was captain and perhaps the brightest star, but there were some useful locals too. An ex-Liverpool man himself, Keegan had brought former Anfield duo Robbie Fowler and Steve McManaman to Manchester, hoping they would sparkle as they had in the not-too-distant past. Commentary comes from John Champion.
A Northwest derby on a bright autumn afternoon. City of Manchester Stadium looks splendid today. Right, Phillips, back to Sun Ji high. Oh, caught by Kevin Davies. How about that for a good afternoon? And it's a yellow card for the Bolton striker after 10 seconds of play. A scything through the Chinese international. Can't really argue. It's a feisty start to the afternoon's proceedings. Only the 5th English Premier League game to be played at Manchester City's new home. And City have won only one of the previous 4. Anelka. McManaman. Nice early link-up play from Manchester City. Sun, none the worse for that early challenge. Right, Phillips couldn't quite control it. And here's JJ Okocha finding Ivan Campo for Bolton. Bolton Wanderers 15th in the league, 8 points from 8 games. Manchester City 6th with 12 points from their 8 fixtures. Arthur Cox with his arm up there. Per Francis. Okocha. And Stelios Yiannakopoulos. Straight at Seaman. Now McManaman and Wright Phillips managed to navigate a route to safety. Yiannakopoulos. Pushed over by Sun. Free kick for Bolton. Awarded by the referee, Steve Bennett. Bolton looking for a more consistent season this time around. They avoided the drop by just 2 points last season. But there is a clash, and I'm surprised the referee didn't pick up on this, between David Seaman's original shirt and those of Bolton, so that's the reason for the change. Rayner. McManaman. Nolan sliding in, but it's Claudio Reyna with the ball. And now Nicola Anelka. Shot from Bolton. And now Sun. On its way by Emerson Ton, the Brazilian. Manchester City showing no signs of legginess. It's only 3 days since they were in UEFA Cup action in the Belgian town of Lokeren. The win they enjoyed there will put them in good spirits. There's Fowler, and now Anelka, and Robbie Fowler! Fractionally wide. A player who's still to find his feet with Manchester City. Pedigree is unquestionable. Bruno Ngotti. Floated in for Yiannakopoulos, and Nolan! There's no flag! There is a goal for Bolton! And Kevin Nolan, who scored the winner at Manchester United last season, has put Bolton ahead at the new home of Manchester City this season. David Seaman nonplussed. Where was the Manchester City defence? Absent without leave, that's where. Vainly appealing for offside. But it was played to Nolan by David Sommet, that's why he wasn't off. Real shock for City. To concede a goal in that manner when it was eminently preventable. Echoes of their last Premier League outing when they lost 1-0 at Molineux against Wolves. A game that they thoroughly expected to win. Here's Ricardo Gardner. And again. Certainly stunned the crowd. More than 47,000 here today. The move from Main Road has brought a greater capacity, and it's being filled every week. Right, Phillips, in behind Gardner. Oh, that's a lovely finish from Sean Wright Phillips. Jääskeläinen stranded. And this fleet of foot winger, Sean Wright Phillips, just a week short of his 22nd birthday, showing real quality to turn an opportunity into a goal. Delicacy of touch, presence of mind. Deservedly 1-1. But a yellow card for the removal of the shirt amidst the celebration. It's not a popular law, but it's one the referee is honour bound to apply. Giannakopoulos. Now Barton. McManaman. Runners left and right. He's chosen Anelka. Outpacing Charlton. It's a poor effort. From a good position. Thumbs up for the pass from McManaman. From a player of Anelka's pedigree, you expect rather better. Bolton's season began with a 4-0 hammering at Old Trafford. They also conceded 4 at Fratton Park against Portsmouth. Here's Anelka! That's a smart stop by Jääskeläinen. Connected with that really meaterly. Emerson Tom. There are signs that Bolton are coming to terms with life in the Premier League, although this was a shot across their bows. 17th last season, the Wanderers, 4th from bottom, 2 points clear of the drop, hampered by only recording 3 away wins. McManaman out. I think Charlton expected the whistle to go for a free kick, but it's play on, and it's Ivan Campo, and he should have scored. Half the players stopped. Charlton says, sorry ref, but there's no whistle. And Campo really ought to have made it 2-1. Guided back by David Sommet. Tarnat for Anelka. Such mobility, Nicola Anelka. And the odd trick or two. Standing in the way was Simon Charlton. Not in the first flush of youth, but he's doing well at centre-back. Tarnat. Gardner. Away from Sun. And a hopeful but hopeless ball. David Seaman was 40 last month. It was quite an achievement by Manchester City to replace Peter Schmeichel with a goalkeeper who was even older. That's what they've managed to do. Half-time rapidly approaching. Manchester City supporters, and indeed their manager Kevin Keegan, disturbed by their opening to the game, but encouraged by what's come to pass since. Time to deliver some words of wisdom. Bolton given a 25th minute lead by Kevin Nolan's opportunism, cancelled out by a lovely finish from Sean Wright-Phillips. This Northwest derby is level at its midway point. Plenty to admire from both sides. Manchester City 1, Bolton 1. Gotcha for Bolton, getting us underway in this second half. No real pattern has emerged yet. Manchester City were a little fearful as to how they would cope with the move from Main Road, their home of so many years. Passionate supporters were close to the pitch and were reckoned to be worth a few points every season. Here it's a more expansive arena, a more expensive arena too. Still make a decent cup of half-time tea though. Distan. Nice spin, Anelka, and Distan's continued his gallop forward. And Anelka's found him, and Sylvain Distin scores! From back to front. Manchester City centre-half, popping up where a centre-forward might well have been. Began the move, and thanks to the skill and the speed of Anelka, was on hand to finish it too. Really sweet goal. Manchester City lead for the first time. And he made it. A few more smiles on the City bench now. Wright-Phillips. Charlton. Now Ivan Campo. And Kevin Nolan with a chance, but it ran away from him. Heavy touch. McManaman. Anelka. Joey Barton. That's nice. Here's Wright-Phillips, and he's in behind. Anelka! Solid defending by Bruno and Gotti. Yes, indeed, it had to be. Anelka lurking. Once more, Wright-Phillips proving a handful. 5th season in charge of Bolton for Sam Allardyce. Club have made major strides during his tenure. Claudio Reyna. Look at Wright-Phillips. And he's been found. And Wright-Phillips through Jääskeläinen for 3-1. And the Bolton defensive line was caught horribly square. You could see what was going to happen, and yet they were powerless to prevent it. Anelka had strayed in the centre, but it went wide to Wright-Phillips, who gets his second. And before today, he'd not scored in the Premier League this season. Scything move right through the heart of the Bolton rearguard. Szybiaski. Jardel. Now Nolan. Cut out by Wright-Phillips. And how the mood has changed in the past few minutes. Szybiaski away from Campo. Referee playing the advantage. Anelka. Up against Emerson Tom. Oh, it's another mistake by the goalkeeper, Jääskeläinen. And Manchester City have scored 3 in the space of 10 minutes, 2 of which should really have been prevented. Nicola Anelka on the score sheet for Manchester City for the 9th time this season. And when he hit it, he can't have expected it would have beaten the Finnish goalkeeper. But it squirmed beneath the keeper's body. And Manchester City surely now even though we're short of the hour mark, must have a winning lead. Not at all like Bolton, this defensive display. They're normally well drilled, they're normally solid. Here's Jardel. He's whipped off his toe by Sun Ji-hai. There'll be an inquest after this. Well, it's not getting any better. Barton lost it. Jardel's back heel for Campo! Ivan Campo's first goal in English football. David Seaman beaten to his left by a left-footed drive of some power and some quality. And half an hour still to play. Nothing is ever straightforward with Manchester City. Melka's flick on. It'll be a goal kick. No Yuri Djorkaeff in this Bolton side today. They are missing his creativity. But they are over the blue moon right now. Sharp, the referee's assistant, says it's a Bolton ball. Somme away, not very far. Ngotti. Sun. Wright Phillips. Oh, and then he caught Simon Charlton, and he's already been cautioned. And Sean Wright Phillips, I think, is going to see another yellow. In fact, it's a straight red for that foul on its own. Steve Bennett in no doubt at all. Studs were showing. Boot was raised. There was an element of malice to it. And Manchester City may lead 4-2, but they are reduced to 10 men. Warm applause for the banished player, but it was a rash moment. And it jeopardises his team's victory. That's what they're expecting with this sort of lead. Campo. Sun. Sibierski. Campo. Tarnat. Now Danny Tiato. Through for Anelka, who is so quick. Charlton's nowhere near him. It's 5. There are few swifter strikers in the English Premier League than Nicola Anelka. Celebrations at either end of the field. The 10 men have managed to increase their lead. Lovely exhibition of the poacher's art from Anelka. Pinpoint ball through as well from the Australian Tiato. 5-2. Offside given. Bolton, as they have to, they're getting on with it. Well, it looks pretty hopeless. 3 goals behind, 1 man up. But not playing to their usual standards. Here though is Nolan. Safely gathered in by David Seaman. Okocha. Eluding Reina, but not Distan. Here's Tiato. Anelka making a lateral run that took a defender. Sibierski. Blocked by Ngotti. Jardel. Yiannakopoulos. This multinational Bolton team. Brazilian to Greek to Nigerian to Jamaican. And now Glenn Little, who's an Englishman, albeit on loan from Burnley. They look pretty meek now, Bolton. Taken a few too many punches today. Into the last 10 minutes. I think both sides know what the result is going to be. Gardner. Ivan Campo. Calls for Sibierski. Manchester City will put pressure on those above them in the English Premier League table with this. Here's Claudio Reyna. And Sibierski, without a defender within 10 yards of him. And Reyna has followed up and has made it 6. Well, no one coming into this game could have foreseen such a one-sided scoreline. Jääskeläinen has contributed to it with a couple of errors. But this now becomes Manchester City's biggest victory over Bolton since they beat them 7-0 way back in 1936. On a plate for Claudio Reyna. Served up by Sibierski. Nolan. Little. For Jardel. Okocha. Going through the motions. Simon Charlton. Final whistle will come as a relief to Bolton. Today to forget about as quickly as possible. It's important they don't let it have a lasting effect on the season that lies ahead. Tiato. Sibierski. And still sliced off the outside of the boot. And Steve Bennett, the referee, I fancy, has just about seen enough now. Bolton have been on the ropes for ages. Tiato. Comes Richard Dunn. Glenn Little. Davis. Charlton. Now Okocha. JJ Okocha. He's beaten his man once, and now twice. That rather sums up Bolton's afternoon. Off key and off target. And Kevin Keegan on the point of being able to celebrate a landslide win in this Northwest Derby encounter. That will do very nicely for Manchester City, if not for Bolton Wanderers. A couple of goals in the second half from Nicola Anelka. And the City Hordes go home very happy, having seen only their second win at the new stadium. And an emphatic one at that. Bolton never really at the races. They led early on through Kevin Nolan, but never really threatened again.